Views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff or management of the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas podcast.
Well, hello there, and welcome to this week's edition of the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas podcast. I'm John Eagleman. Thank you for being here. I adore everything about today's podcast, the company, the product, the owner and her story, and we're talking today with Angela Bolt from Siloam Syrups. But before we get to her, food news. Well, it was a busy Tuesday morning in our food world this week as Northwest Arkansas had two nominees for the second year in a row for the James Beard Awards, and they both come from the same building in Rogers. We start with Onyx Coffee Lab being named a Final Five nominee for Outstanding Bar in the United States. It's the only coffee shop in the Final Five. That's huge. And their next door neighbor, Chef Jason Paul of Heirloom at the 1907, is one of the five nominees for Best Chef of the South, which includes Alabama, Florida, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Puerto Rico. By the way, big shout out also to Vinny Cimino for being a top five nominee for Best Chef in the Great Lakes. He's the co-owner and executive chef at Cordelia in Cleveland. Now, why am I bringing him up in this hyper-local podcast? Well, he was in Bentonville helping cook for the No Kid Hungry dinner just 3 weeks ago, and I had the opportunity to sit down with him on our live podcast at the event. You can see that over on our YouTube page. Great guy, really enjoyed the interview and enjoyed talking with him afterwards. If you were there, he made the sausage plate with anchovy mayo and bravada salad. Congrats to all. Speaking of No Kid Hungry, the Washington County version will be at the Jones Center and presented by Gaskins on Emma and Chef Sam Walker. Listen to this. There will be 20 chefs, 5 teams of 4 tasked with creating a dish for the night. So far, Ted Sisma of local LA Catering and Events and the former chef for SpaceX will be joining Rainer Wibowo and Barry Abe from Rain in downtown Springdale. We'll hear more names in the coming weeks, but get your tickets now. The link is in the bio section of the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas Instagram page. Good news for you all, the Kilroy Public House in downtown Rogers will be having soft openings this Thursday and Friday night. This is a place that's going to have lines and waits once they're fully open. They're at 224 South 2nd Street. Might be easier to remember as the spot that used to be home to Levi's Gastropub. Chuo Izakaya officially opened their doors on Friday in Pinnacle Heights, just north of Confident Coffee. We've been talking about them for a while on here. We had a blast. Myself and Mrs. Flavors had a blast there Thursday at their soft opening. Great food and drink. I did a post about it. Feel free to go check that out. They're open Tuesday through Thursday, 4 to midnight, Friday and Saturday, 4 to 1. One of my new faves has moved, but we told you about it. Taqueria El Cuervo has moved their location to 2019 West Huntsville Road in Springdale. It's about a mile west of their previous location. They're now across the street from the Dollar General. Quick correction from last week's food news. Moff's Pizza is moving from their food truck this summer into a brick and mortar, but not the building across the street that we mentioned last week. They'll be moving into the old Dirty Apron Bakery, which is immediately south of their pizza truck. And by the way, great article and Q&A with owner Andy Moffett in the Fayetteville Flyer by Roger Barrett. Go check that out. The NWA Daily had this one. Remember that development we talked about going up by Gully Park in Fayetteville off of Township? Developer Cameron Clark went to his LinkedIn and said that there will be 2 food and beverage concepts to go along with the 8 townhomes. We'll keep you up to date on this one. 7 Brew is opening up its first ever campus stand at the UofA. They'll be breaking ground this summer, and it'll be fully operational for the fall. You know how we are about food competitions around these here parts. I made it out to the Black Howler Beer Chili Cookoff on Saturday in Highville, and it was a great turnout. What fun. And some damn good chili. That included a can of Black Howler beer and beef from Jackson's Double J Brangus Beef. Here are your winners. The People's Choice Award went to Marty Gerard, and the judge's choice was the chili made by Courtney Thornberry and Justin Lovett. Congrats to them. And how about Crisis Brewing? 8 years. They're celebrating 8 years this weekend. Now, this Saturday's the celebration, and it's big. Bougie Buns will be there. They'll have live music and a DJ, tarot readings, mudcap pottery pop-up, and a new beer release, Rice Krispie Treat Rice Lager. Interesting. Terracotta from Greenhouse Ale Works is turning one on Saturday as well. It'll start at 2 and go to 6. They're releasing a birthday beer called Magnolia. It's a birthday cake slushy sour. Listen to this. It's made with cake batter, white chocolate, and house-made vanilla ice cream. Again, interesting. Mockingbird Kitchen will be having a Dining in the Dark event happening on April the 23rd. For those that don't know, you're blindfolded and have to depend on the other senses to guide you through your meal. Tickets will go quick. Go to the Mockingbird Kitchen's social media to get signed up. Dining in the Dark started in Northwest Arkansas in Bentonville over 15 years ago. The River Grill's Brenda Swango was looking for a way to attract the younger crowd, and then she came across this.
I happen to like Chelsea Handler.
Yeah,
And
the comedian.
Yes, watch her late nights. And she wrote this book called Where's My Vodka, I think. So
I haven't read it, but
okay,
it sounds like her.
So I was reading that book, and one of the chapters, or one of the things she was talking about, this Dining in the Dark in New York called, it was a restaurant called Opaque.
Okay.
And her whole experience there was just hilarious. I mean, I was rolling, and I was like going, I've got to do something like this. So I started researching like where that came from, like, how did they start Opaque? And so it actually started overseas in Europe.
Okay.
But it was some monks that were, trying to help the blind and give them work and jobs. And so they opened up a restaurant.
Interesting.
And they did. The blind people started, and that's how they made money. And that's how it all got started.
Interesting.
But then they started restaurants over here.
Ooh, what a great idea.
Yeah. So I said, well, let's just do a pop-up night and see how it goes. And so I researched it all, and like in Opaque, they had like infrared glasses and stuff. And so I went out and I bought some.
Did you really?
Yeah. I was like, let's see how this works. Like, how does it work? But if you don't use them every day, your depth perception is off. And so as we were, trying it just for the first time, we were running into tables we couldn't see. We were trying to set things down. So I was like, okay, that's not going to work. Those aren't going to work.
I can only
have
imagine.
To, this is a one-night thing, so we'll take the lights down. And so we thought, well, but we couldn't get it dark enough. So I was like, okay, it's blindfolds.
There you go.
They're going to wear blindfolds. So we decided that we'll just take the lights down as far as we can. The customers will wear blindfolds, and we'll still give them the same experience. And the whole idea behind it is that your senses are awakened. When you have sight, you see a pizza, and you don't really eat it and savor it because you already kind of know what that's going to taste like, or what you think it's going to taste like. Yeah. If you don't know what you're eating, and you have to use your sense of smell and touch and taste, it's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to awaken those senses. And then we usually we do some sort of entertainment, and a lot of times I'll have like someone playing a guitar, and they're walking around, so it's very heightened senses. And it's fun, and it's the loudest this restaurant will ever be.
Okay.
Because if you don't have your sight and you don't see someone responding to you, you tend to want to talk louder.
Because what I was going to say was, I would think, now if it were me, I'm so paying attention to other senses, I'm not really talking because I'm focusing on smell, and I'm focusing on, it's like whenever we're driving around and trying to find somewhere, we turn down the radio because we're looking for something with our eyes, right?
But as you're doing that, you want to talk about it. You're like, oh, I smell this. I smell that texture. What are you getting? What are you getting?
I see.
So everybody's
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. You add some wine to the scenario, because we do.
Why didn't you say that at the start? I get it now, right?
Yeah. So we do a wine pairing along with it, if you want to do the wine pairing.
Yeah.
And so it just, people are having so much fun and trying to figure it out, see if they've got it right. And conversation happens a little more wine, and it does. It gets pretty loud, and it's the loudest it'll ever be.
What a story Angela Bolt has. Born and raised on the West Coast, you'll love the story about how she learned to cook. You'll also hear about the familial influences in her life that are with her today. How did she get into the food and beverage business? Well, it's a good story, and also has to do with family. Speaking of which, how does one go from Oakland, California to Siloam Springs? It'll make sense, I promise. Also, a scary health situation, and the story of Angela having to put her life on pause and the village that got her through it. Finally, those yummy syrups. Just delish. We talked to Angela Bolt from Siloam Syrups, and that's next, right here on the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas. Looking for a liquor store that actually takes care of you? Check out Macadoodles in Pineville and Guess Who in Bentonville, where customers always come first. From open to close, enjoy complimentary white and red wine samples at both locations. Curious about spirits? Well, they've got spirit tastings too. And when there's a new barrel buy, there'll be an open bottle so you can try it. And if not, just ask. Within reason, they're happy to pop one open. At Macadoodles in Pineville, check out their exclusive private label wines and spirits. The price is good and the quality is better. If you're buying a 12-pack of beer, you'll get a free 3-ounce bag of ice because details matter. And if it's raining like it looks like it might be doing this weekend, no worries. Umbrellas are waiting for you up front. And if you don't want to get out this wet Easter weekend, you can stock up on both alcoholic and non-alcoholic items before, and store associates will help with big carry-out orders to your car. Join the loyalty program at both places, and you can earn rewards. Macadoodles in Pineville and Guess Who in Bentonville. Taste before you buy and feel taken care of every time.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Welcome back. We are in gorgeous Siloam Springs, and we're talking with my good buddy, Angela Bolt of Siloam Syrups. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm going to turn you up a little bit here.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks for your time. I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah. Thank you for offering to do
Yeah,
it.
well, of course. We've been kicking it around for a little while, and a year or so, and I'm just glad we're finally able to sit down because you're an interesting folk.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to this as well. So you're originally from California.
Correct.
Tell me, give me the lowdown there. You were born and raised, did I see Clovis?
No.
Okay,
I
all right.
was born in Santa Cruz. And
Okay.
then I grew up in the San Luis Obispo County.
Yeah.
My family moved to Portland, Oregon when I was 16. And I spent some time there. I went to college there, Warner Pacific University.
Okay.
And then I made my way back down to California. I miss the sun. Portland's
yeah.
wonderful, but
Not
there's
sunny.
not a lot of sun. No.
Not sunny. The Pacific Northwest is not known for its sun.
Correct.
Yeah. But Portland's great. I love Mount Hood. I love that whole area.
It's wonderful.
It really is. So I love the story about how you learned to cook.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, my earliest memory of cooking was with my great-grandmother on my mom's side.
Okay.
She lived in Salinas, California. Okay. And she was a tall woman. She had beautiful green eyes and deep black hair. And she was a cooker. Like, she loved to cook with her whole being. It was something that she did every day. It wasn't just a weekend thing for her. It was every single day.
It wasn't a job to her.
No.
Yeah.
And that's how she loved her family.
Wow.
And I always thought that was a really beautiful connection with the way that she chose to share her heart. Mm-hmm. And I just liked following her around. You know, she's my grandma, and she was funny and she was different. But she really didn't use any tools to measure. She didn't use recipes. I think everybody in my family is still mourning the loss of her biscuit recipe because we never had it written down.
Yeah.
But I would watch her and she would just measure with her hands. She'd measure by sight, by feel. The only time that she asked for a measuring device was this porcelain blue teacup, and it had pink and peach flowers painted on it. And she would tell me, like, baby, go get the cup. And I knew exactly what she was talking about. And I'd go get my stool and I'd get up and I'd get it from the top cupboard and hand it to her. But that was really the only time she ever used a measuring device of any sort outside of her own two hands and just, her knowledge. She would load the table up and she would ring the bell, to say, and the whole family would join around, and it was very Southern inspired. My great grandma was originally from Oklahoma.
Okay.
And when her husband passed away, she loaded all 5 of her kids into a car and was like, "We're out of here."
Oh, wow.
And she left and drove out to the West Coast and raised her children out on the coast of California.
Wow. What a difference.
Yeah.
Big
difference.
Were they young then?
Well, there's 5 of them.
Oh, well, it's probably the whole gamut. Yeah.
Right. So they stretched a little bit, but probably like junior high age.
People from that era, when you say no measuring cups, no measuring, no anything, they just know, I had family that's kind of the same way. And it's like a musician. People that can just play the piano or play the guitar, they're not even looking at their hands. They're not looking at anything. They just kind of feel it. I feel like there are people the same way with cooking and chefs or whoever, but people that are really into it, they just go.
Yeah.
No big
it's
deal.
Intuitive.
That's the word. That's what I was looking for. I love that. Well, you come from an entrepreneurial family, so it kind of runs in your blood. Tell me about that.
I think I come from a family that is full of people that seek out passion. And whatever that passion is, they can't help but infuse it into their lives.
Sure.
So, whether that be antiques, I had my grandmother and grandfather on my dad's side owned an antique shop in the Watsonville area.
Sure, yeah.
My dad would wrangle. He was a wrangler when I was little. That was one of my early memories of him.
So
just
cowboy.
doing cowboy things.
Yeah, girl.
Right.
Yeah.
He later became a chef, trained the cordon bleu, and went that way because he had always been very passionate about food and the science and the art behind it. Really just anything that they could tap into. My aunt, one of the flavors is named after her. She was a nurse, but she was really into music and the arts and wildlife. And so it wasn't until I was much older that I found out she was a major component of the Monterey Jazz Festival.
Oh, no kidding.
And its happenings.
Even I've heard of that.
Yeah, she was just an amazing woman. And so I think whether it was their profession or it was just a passion, a hobby, they would look to infuse those things into their life and they would just run with it.
Wow.
And I think I got a little bit of that.
I think you did. And I think you got a bit of that. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. But I guess at some point you started in restaurants.
Yes. Well, to take it back a little bit, I don't know when it happened. Stop me if I'm going too long with the story.
No, take all the time you want.
I don't know
I'm
when
going to sit back and just light a smoke. Don't mind me.
I don't know when it happened, but there was a time where I was disconnected from food, the kitchen. It just became, a way to nourish myself and then keep going.
And off you go.
And I had an opportunity when I was 19 to work in one of my dad's kitchens.
Okay.
And I took it because at the time I was living on my own and I could burn water. It was bad. So I had all these wonderful memories in the kitchen as a child that really inspired me, but then get me in there and I can't keep track of time.
Right.
I want to cook everything on the hottest temperature possible because in my mind it'll go faster. I can't multitask, so getting things done at the right time and being the right temperature, not going to happen. So my dad really joked. He said, "Oh, this girl can burn water. You don't help her." And so when he took me on into his kitchen, I needed a job, and he was like, "Look, this isn't a free ride. You are going to earn it just like everybody else. And because you represent our family, I need to make sure that you're even more so on point."
Get it.
So let's go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I went from a dishwasher.
Yeah.
Right?
Started in the pit.
Started in the pit. I worked my way through everything. And it was just an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, I started to fall in love with the rhythm again.
Yeah.
And the magic behind food.
Sure.
And so after that, I enrolled in Warner Pacific University. I started going for my business degree. And a couple years in, working in restaurants and helping my dad out in his businesses, the 2008 pandemic, or not pandemic,
the crash.
The crash.
Yeah.
Everything, just
Oh gosh.
went to heck, and people didn't know which way was up or down, and jobs were really difficult. And so one of the things my dad, I'd say he gifted me with, was the knowledge of each of those positions.
Yeah.
So not only did I understand how the front of the house ran, but I understood how to build and maintain relationships with vendors. I knew how to do books. I knew how the numbers worked.
Super
I knew
important.
all of that stuff. So I put on my big kid pants because I needed a job.
Right,
and I
right.
went out.
Many people did at that point.
Right. And I started looking for people that needed help in the industry. And I would basically offer consultation services. And that's how I kept food on my plate for a few years. Just kind of be bopping around doing that.
So is this in Portland?
This is in Portland.
Okay, yeah.
Then I got the opportunity to move to San Francisco.
Yeah.
I had an amazing auntie who's also named after one of the syrups.
Okay, this is the one that taught you about entertaining, right?
No, so the one that taught me about entertaining was the nurse with the Monterey Jazz Festival.
I got you. Okay.
This one is also in the hospitality industry.
Okay.
And super artsy, like very talented. She's one of those people that you come over to her home and you feel like you belong there immediately.
Got it.
You just get settled in, and she acts like it's no big deal. And I'm like, girl, you are talented. This is a gift.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do this. But she called me up and she was like, hey, I know things are really tough right now. I will buy you a one-way ticket to San Francisco. I need a nanny in the daytime. She had a 2-year-old son at the time. And then she's like, and then you can go get a job at night. Rent is on me. You have your own room. Whatever's in the fridge is yours.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm there.
Can you make that ticket for tomorrow?
So I think it was 2 days later. It happened so quickly.
Wow.
I packed my bags and was out of there.
Wow.
Yeah, I took the train
Oh, wow.
down.
Okay.
And she picked me up on Embarcadero in front of the ferry building in downtown San Francisco and dropped me off at her house. The next day, I got up and went out literally on foot and just started going to restaurants and handing out my resume. And
Look at you.
I'm looking for a job.
Yeah.
And that's how I got my first job in San Francisco.
Where'd you work?
It's a restaurant that's no longer with us, unfortunately, but it was called the Market Bar.
Okay.
It was in the historic ferry building, right there on Embarcadero. And one of the things that I really loved about this restaurant is it reminded me a lot of my dad's style. Oh. He was very influenced by Alice Waters. And so very farm to glass, understanding the science behind nature and how all that played into cuisine. And this chef of the Market Bar, it was called Market Bar because the ferry building had been transferred from, a ferry depot into a market. And so you would go in and all the little stalls were different local markets. So he would go into the market every week and he would pick what was going to be on the menu based off of what was in the market.
Awesome.
And it was so cool. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And I went in really wanting to bartend.
Okay.
I didn't want to serve. I wanted to bartend.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was just me being naive or just saying, like, you don't jump for it, you're not ever going to land it type of a thing.
Fair.
But I went in looking for bartending jobs, not looking for serving jobs. And of course, this is a major city. And as far as my bartending resume, it was like golf courses. Like little hole-in-the-wall family Italian restaurants.
Yeah, yeah.
Stuff like that, And so it's not
Which
that
is great, but...
It's not that I didn't know anything,
Right.
but I really didn't know anything.
Sure.
And finally, I landed on Market Bar. They were actually the first place I went in, and I was able to talk to a manager.
Okay.
And he told me no immediately. Like, he kind of laughed at me and told me
boy.
no. And I was like, okay, well, thanks for your time. And I went on my way. And then a few hours later, he gave me a call. And he was like, hey, I don't have any bartending for you, but I have a server position open. If you want it, it's yours. Be here tomorrow at 7. And I was like, yep.
See you then.
Sure do. Thanks. And so I went in and I did my best serving. It was a really, really busy restaurant, busier than anything I had ever done before. It was a very hot spot for tourists.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it was just slammed during the summertime. There was a big outdoor patio, and then indoor was semi-formal dining. And then it had a nice big bar on top of that.
Okay.
And it was lovely. I had a great time there. The people that were working there were awesome. I learned so much, just even in the first few months.
Sure.
But eventually a bartender quit without notice, and they needed help.
Look at you.
And I was there.
Our girl.
I was so ready.
Right?
At least I thought I was.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I was not. And I think any professional bartender out there that has been put through the rings will probably agree with me when I say that while that was so difficult to learn that way, it was trial by fire.
It's the way to do it.
It was the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I learned so much. I worked with bartenders that, for whatever reason, weren't happy that I was there. And so they weren't very helpful, and I had to learn a lot. Yeah. But it got to the point that the managers were putting me on top scheduled shifts because I was the best bartender there.
Look at you.
And I could say it with confidence,
Sure.
right? Like, I know my drinks. Nothing ever gets sent back.
Sure.
You know, I had the proof.
So I attended bar in college, like a bar and grill, but it was across the street from the football stadium. And during football games is, you talk about being thrown in the fire, as it were. That's how we do it. But you'd also make 2 months rent in, 7 hours.
Oh, yeah. It was nice. We were walking distance from the ballpark, so we would get the Giants crowd.
Ah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this, what years were these?
Oh my gosh. Long time ago.
Long time ago?
I wish I remembered off the top of my head.
So I'm thinking because, the Giants have always been good, and they've always packed the park. So I'm thinking that, especially during games, you guys probably did.
We did very well.
Yeah. And
it took a big dive in business over the winter months because we didn't have the tourists.
Sure.
It wasn't baseball season.
Right.
But that spring and summer, man, if you could manage your money well, you'd be fine all year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very nice. I love that. So when did you know that this was going to be your route going forward? Because it's one thing to work at a restaurant in college. I did it, and other restaurants in college. But it's a separate thing to know, hang on, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. I think a lot of my decisions that came with choosing this as a career came more out of necessity and also out of my desire for knowledge.
Okay.
Like, I really just wanted to learn.
Yeah.
I felt like at first, this knowledge kept food on my plate and a roof over my head.
Sure.
Which that's what
everything.
we need. Like, let's start there.
Yeah.
Right. Especially during such a difficult economic time.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful for that knowledge. But then there was still pieces that I hadn't learned. Right. Like, I hadn't worked in a super busy semi-fine dining restaurant. I hadn't bartended farm to glass style where the recipes are changing every week. And there's a massive wine selection and, just the flow is insane. I hadn't done any of that yet.
Right.
And so there was still more to learn. And once I really got the hang of bartending, I was out looking for a management job. Because I was like, well, now I want to know what it's like.
Natural progression.
Right. Yeah. To manage. I don't enjoy managing.
Well, but you enjoy the money that comes with it, right?
It was okay.
At the time?
I think, though, what I enjoyed was just the organization building, like the business aspect of it. I'm not a micromanager, so sometimes, after training, I'm like, I already showed you this. Like, what? And I had to learn that about myself.
Right.
Yeah. Am I a good manager? I think I'm a good manager. Definitely better than some of the managers I've had. But am I fantastic? Absolutely not. I'm not going to toot that horn because it's just not authentic. Right. It's not me.
No.
But I really enjoyed learning the business. And I got to go into downtown Berkeley and work at an upscale hotel restaurant.
Nice, yeah.
And I absolutely loved it. There was a fantastic chef there from Texas. He did really amazing infusion food.
Nice.
The bar program was awesome. We got to be on the radio. We got to be on the newspaper. Like all the things.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
It's such a different budget. And it's so different when it's attached to a hotel.
Yes.
It's way different.
Very, very different. Yeah. And they wanted it to be something that not only drew people from the community in, but also kept guests in the hotel that were staying there.
Right.
Berkeley has a ton of offerings. You can leave and you can go get cuisine from anywhere around the world. A 15, 20 minute walk will take you there.
Yeah.
Like, no problem.
Right.
So what can they do to keep that dollar in the hotel was something that they were looking for.
Yeah.
And
Makes sense.
And we did it.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
really exciting.
It became a
was super
destination
fun.
point.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool. Well, tell me about when did you from there? Because I know I'm missing a big hole here, but from there to Arkansas.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, big hole.
Well, yes. So I continued to work in hospitality.
Sure.
I ended up leaving, it was called the Hotel Shattuck in
Okay.
downtown Berkeley.
Okay.
I left there because I wanted to work for one of the big boys.
Conglomerate,
and I
yeah.
went to work in downtown San Francisco
Okay.
at the second largest hotel in the city. And loved it, enjoyed it, ended up getting promoted up to Nob Hill to the Stanford Court, where
Oh,
I
gosh.
oversaw their entire food and beverage program and really enjoyed that. But after a few years, I, was doing traveling. I was on their task force team.
Okay.
And so I would travel up and down the West Coast and I would go help them flip new properties.
Oh gosh.
So I'd go in and it'd be something like, we have 4 days to rip down all branding from the previous ownership and branding company and get our stuff up. And then I would go in and I would create new relationships with vendors. I'd create
okay.
menu items. I would price everything out, like do all
Yeah.
the costing for it, train if I needed to train a team.
Gosh, that's a lot.
Pick out, like layouts and vibes. And it was really artsy and super fun. I loved it, but it was exhausting.
Yeah.
And so a handful of years, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And I did what everybody in the Bay Area does, and I went and worked in tech.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, then I moved to Arkansas like everyone else in the Bay Area. I was like, wait, are you sure?
No, not quite. And I worked for some amazing companies,
Yeah.
specifically in the marketing realm of
Okay.
things, and was loving that.
Yeah.
And did that up until the pandemic.
Oh, boy.
Ooh. And if anybody listening lived in the Bay Area during the pandemic, it was a wildly different experience
Okay.
in the Bay Area than it was out here.
Okay.
I remember waiting, an hour and a half to get into Berkeley Bowl, which was the local grocery store there,
Oh, wow.
waiting in line masked up.
Oh, gosh.
And then you get
yeah.
up, and if your mask wasn't good enough, then they would send you away.
Jeez.
My office was shut down.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up going into curfew. All sorts of things were happening with the riots and
Oh, gosh,
the
yeah.
unfortunate, news of George Floyd being, on the news and people being very passionate about that
Right.
and wanting change. And so it was just this like mashup of emotions that were just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like spilling over into the city. And my apartment was on a main street. So like the protests, the flooding of people went right by my front door.
Yeah.
And it was an experience, and you'd finally get into the grocery store and there wouldn't be much of anything
Right.
left. It'd be slim pickings. Meanwhile, my sister.
And it looks like Wonder Bread tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
Like all the Campbell's soup is gone. Like,
Wonder
oh,
Bread and
gosh.
mustard. Wonderful.
Meanwhile, my sister's like, oh, I got strawberries on sale today from Aldi. She's just
Jeez.
living a completely different experience through
Right,
all this than
right.
I am. I was a scuba diver and I loved
she
to
here?
kayak. She was out here.
Okay,
I have
okay.
2 younger sisters and they're both out here.
Okay. All right.
And my parents were out here at the time as well.
Okay.
And, they kept jokingly, when are you going to move to Arkansas? Because
Yeah.
I'd come out here and visit. I have a niece and 2 nephews
Okay.
out here. And
Now, are they in
both my
Siloam?
sisters-
Okay.
They sure are. And every time I was like, absolutely not. No. And to this day, this is nothing against Northwest Arkansas.
Sure.
But I lived in California.
Yeah.
And I had access to the ocean. And I loved to scuba dive. I
Sure.
loved to ocean kayak. Like, why would I leave that? Like, all my
Yeah.
friends were there. I had lived there for so long.
You bet.
I had family out there. And so as much as I missed my family out here,
Yeah.
that's a hard thing to part with.
Sure.
And I was single too. I was like, I'm never going to find somebody in Northwest Arkansas.
Right.
That's not going to happen. It's all
Right.
families and that's great for them, but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So I had a whole list of reasons that it just was not a good idea.
That
for
plus
me.
minus list got a little lopsided.
Right.
Yeah.
And the pandemic hit and I was like, well, I had been house hunting out there.
Okay.
And the housing market is insane.
That's
I
ridiculous,
don't know
yeah.
how people do it.
Yeah.
I was working in tech, but I wasn't working in that kind of tech.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was constantly getting outbid and frustrated. And we're talking like outbid for a 1-room apartment.
Oh, gosh.
You know, nothing like fancy or super exciting.
Right.
I just wanted like a cute little place I could have, and you know, it would be my own.
Oh, gosh.
And so my sister started sending me listings out here. She's like, well, if you just want an investment property and like somewhere you can stay when you're out here, maybe look at these. So she was sending me places
What
that I
a
could like
smart,
rent part of the building and then stay in the other.
what a smart move by her.
Yes, she's the smartest out of the three of us for sure. And I fell for it. So I got outbid for another place, and then like in the middle of the night, I was like, this stinks.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I called her up and I was like, hey, I know it's the middle of the night. You have babies, so you're up. What would you think about me driving out, like maintaining low contact on my way out? I'll car camp, and then I'll just come in, hang out, and visit for a little while. Maybe look at some houses while I'm out there. And she was like, heck yeah.
Come on.
Come on. So I literally got off the phone with her, packed a duffel bag, threw it in the back of my car, and drove out here.
Yeah.
Car camped along the way.
It's 20, how many
28 hours.
28, yeah.
Yeah, roughly.
Oh my gosh. Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I guess you didn't quite go back.
No.
Yeah.
No, even when I was out here looking at houses, I still had full intentions
Sure.
of going back.
You bet.
And this was the first house we're sitting in right now.
Yeah.
Was the first house that I looked at. And I told my mother, there's no way that the first house I looked at is the house.
Yeah.
And so I kept looking, but I kept coming back to this house. Like
Right.
just something was like pulling at me.
Yeah.
And the plan.
Did you get the panic of someone's going to get that house and it's not going to
No,
be me?
I
Okay.
didn't.
Okay.
Not at all, actually. And one of the things that I told my realtor as we were looking, Cammie Hefner,
Sup, Cammie?
she's amazing, is that I didn't want to be the stereotypical Californian coming
Okay.
into a small town.
Okay.
That was really, really important to me, especially because over my time living in the Bay Area, like I was living in Oakland, and not the worst part of Oakland by any means.
Sure.
But when I first moved out there, I'd go to sleep to gunshots every night. Like it was not
Yeah.
a good part of town.
Right.
And when I left, you couldn't get a house for under $1 million in that neighborhood. Like the
Crazy.
gentrification was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And that's what I was fighting against when I was trying to look for a home out there.
Yeah.
And it was so frustrating. And I was like, I don't ever want to be on the bad side
Yeah.
of that happening to a
Understand.
community. And so when I came out here, I was like, look, I want to buy really modestly. This is going to be my first home.
Yeah.
I want something that I can stay in, that I could potentially also rent out to some JBU girls. And I'm not going to go to a bidding battle
Yeah.
with anybody, especially if they're local. If they're from out of town, game's on. You know,
LFG.
but if they're a local or
Yeah.
if it's a young family, like
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's not who I am as a person. I don't want to play into that stereotype. I don't want to introduce myself to the community with that energy.
Sure.
I want to come in very respectfully and quietly and be like a welcomed aspect
Sure.
to the town. So that's how I approached it, and it ended up working out. There was
Nice.
3 other people, I think, that were bidding the same time I was, and it just worked out that I got it.
Okay.
So
They were all old people moving from different parts of the country, and it's probably best that you don't know. So once you got here, what was the first step for you? Well, hang on.
yeah.
So you come to hang out just for a little bit. What locked you in?
I got a dog.
Oh, it was a dog that locked you in to here?
No, okay, so really it was
No, it was a dog.
it's kind of a dog.
Yeah.
I moved in and the house is old, right? And so I immediately started working on things that needed to be fixed
Sure.
to make the house comfortable. And as I was doing that, I just really started to feel infused into the process. Like
Okay.
I wanted to put a garden in, and I wanted, you know, all these things. And I kept reminding myself, like, you're not going to be here all the time. Stop investing.
But it's yours.
But it's mine.
Yeah.
And that was so important to me.
Yeah.
So I was really happy with the process. And then I started falling in love with my niece and my nephews.
Yeah.
And of course I already loved them, but getting to be around them and going to ballet recitals and piano recitals and going to flag football games and my heart.
Right. Yeah.
Just my heart.
Sure.
And then, my job kept postponing going back to the office. And even before I moved out here, I worked remote 85% of the time.
Okay.
And so in my head, I was like, well, that small percentage that I'm in the office, like I'll be in San Francisco and I'll be at my apartment. And then when I don't have to be, I can be out here and enjoying my house and my family. And so that was, kind of the plan. And then I started thinking more so leaning towards, at first it was like, oh, I can come out here every 6 months. And it was like, well, every 3 months or like every other month, like tickets aren't that bad.
Sure.
I started like trying to reason with myself.
Right.
And
flying during a pandemic's easy.
Right.
And safe. Yeah.
And I love road trips and I could my mind just continued to go.
Right.
It was
Of course it
nonstop.
did. Yeah.
And then, things just continued
Yeah.
to happen. I was able to strengthen the relationship with my sisters, which was already a strong relationship, but it became so much more sacred to me to have that time with
It's kind
them.
of renewed.
Yeah. At the time, my dad also, his health was not well.
Oh, boy, yeah.
And I love both of my parents very much.
Sure.
But we had a very strained relationship.
Okay.
And being able to be around him while he was so sick, while he was also trying to actively repair things with us, was really, really valuable to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to miss out on that. And so I just stayed.
Yeah.
I just literally stayed and just ended up not going back until I had to go back to wrap things up.
Yeah.
And I stayed and I worked on that relationship with my dad in his last, few months. And I loved loving on my niece and nephews and hanging out with my sisters, and all just got a hold of my heart in a way I can't even describe.
Kind of felt natural.
And then it was over.
Yeah. Well, you're here, and I guess you're not able to be in the office that 15% of the time back in San Francisco.
No.
Yeah.
They ended up, so right before the pandemic, they had bought a new location.
Okay.
And we're in the process of
So did you.
completely redoing it. It was like a very expensive project.
Okay.
Which the Bay Area is known for. The way that companies invest into the environment of their office.
Okay.
It's something that you don't see anywhere else, or that I've not seen anywhere else.
Give me an example.
Nap pods.
Oh, okay. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Right? Full service kitchens.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time I visited a contact at the Google campus, right? And got to see their quote unquote cafeteria.
Yeah.
It's wild to me.
Yeah.
In-office massages, like the list just goes on, and like,
Where do I sign up?
right, all the things.
Screw Flavors of Northwest Arkansas. Where are these office massages?
Right, they have like on-site gyms, they have on-site daycare,
awesome,
like whatever they can offer you to make you comfortable to stay there and infuse yourself into the company and the company culture, they're gonna do.
Yeah.
So it's my understanding that it was a very big investment project for this company. So towards the end of the pandemic, they were like, okay, all hands on deck. We're all coming back to the office.
Ah, there's
full
the death
time.
knell. There it is.
And I was like, ooh. So about that.
Ooh. Oh,
Small problem there. And at the same time, like it all just kind of fell into place. The guy that I'd been working for years, who I absolutely adored, he was an amazing leader, an amazing human being. He left and went to another company himself.
Yeah.
And so the person that I would be reporting to was in New York. Like no one was even in San Francisco. And so I was like, why do I have to be in the office every day?
Right.
And HR was amazing.
Yeah.
They actually really tried to work out a solution for
that's
me.
good.
Yeah, I've been really lucky with the companies that I've worked for.
Yeah.
For this company, excuse me, it was called Essence, and it's a digital marketing firm.
Yeah.
And they really put themselves out there to try to make something work for me, even trying to connect me with like a Texas office.
Okay.
So I could occasionally commute from Arkansas to Texas.
Yeah.
They really put in the effort. And unfortunately, it ended up not working out. But kudos to them because they really tried. And they have a lot of my admiration for that
5 stars.
effort. Yeah, just really cool. And I ended up, getting a job elsewhere, and things just kind of progressed that way. And so I was able to stay out here because then I was remote full time.
Okay.
And once I decided that I was out here, I was like, okay, well, now that I'm officially out here 100%, what is this going to look like for me? Yes, I love being around my family. Yes, I love repairing relationships, but there are so many things that I've separated myself from.
Mama need mama time.
Right. I've got to give myself something.
Right.
Like I no longer have scuba diving, which everybody's like, oh, Beaver Lake. And I'm like, sure. Okay. But no.
The catfish is fresh.
I've actually never gone. I had a scuba buddy come out and we were supposed to go. And then there was a lightning storm that came through. And so we had to cancel.
Oh,
so I've never even dove in Beaver Lake, but I've heard. And so someday I would like to do that. But that aside, something that I really was missing was something that I could be creative with.
Sure, yeah.
Now, to kind of go back a little bit, when I left hospitality to work in tech, I never completely left hospitality.
Oh?
I kept bartending positions on the side.
Did you? Did they know?
Yeah.
Okay.
They knew.
All right.
I would do it 3 to 4 nights a week.
Okay.
And I had 3 different places that I worked for.
You had cash in the pocket, girl.
It was so much fun. Like, I really enjoyed the creative aspect of it.
Yeah.
It kept me busy. It gave me extra spending money because I like to also travel to scuba dive. So
there you go.
Hello, Virgin Islands, Dominican Republic.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
I'm gone. So, there was a passion there.
Yeah.
And so I just woke up one night with this idea and I was like, oh, I'm going to teach classes. I love teaching.
Yeah.
I love learning new things. It's something my ADD brain can fully hyper focus on, and I'll learn all the things about, whatever particular thing I'm focusing on at the time.
Sure.
This is going to be great. Yeah. And so I put together a website and kind of did it like a speakeasy style.
A speakeasy website?
Hosting them here at my house.
With strangers?
Yes.
Wow, bless you.
I just started whispering in people's ears. And I had sold out classes.
By the way, I have a gun, so don't get freaky.
But it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, I would make appetizers so that no one was leaving with just booze in their belly.
Yeah.
And I would put together these cocktails and we would talk about the history behind the cocktail and the history of the ingredients that were going into them and, why things worked well together.
Sure.
And then I'd let them make their cocktail. And we did 2 cocktails. Some classes we worked on garnishes. And that's also how Siloam Syrups was born.
There you go.
Eventually.
So this was South Maple Street Cocktails.
Yes, South Maple Street Cocktails.
Okay.
And I was open to doing events and stuff like that. Yeah. But really the class was like the big seller for me for that business.
Gotcha.
And the way that Siloam Syrups came into play with those classes is that I would send everybody home with a little bag of maple cookies. They're like these chewy maple cookies.
Yummy.
And a recipe card. And the recipe card would be for the cocktails that they made that night. And then anything that I infused or made myself, the instructions for that would also be on the card.
Awesome.
And so they were getting recipe cards with syrup recipes on them.
Yeah.
And then people started reaching out to me like, hey, I know you gave me the recipe card, but what do you say you make a big batch and I'll buy it off of you?
So that's how commerce works.
Right. Yeah. I think the first one was like a golf course. And then people just for birthdays, oh, we're having an anniversary party, or oh, my friend's having a baby shower.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It just kind of went on from there.
Yeah.
So I started looking into what I needed to do to bottle.
This is 3 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Going on 3 years ago.
All right. Yeah.
2.5. And I found the University of Arkansas and their AFIC program.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Super cool. And I showed up nervous to put myself out there for it, and spoke with John, and he was amazing and very reassuring, and was like, you know what, it's really up to you. He's like, I'm here to like be a supportive element.
Great
but
point. Yeah.
It's on you.
Yeah.
You've got to do all the legwork. You've got to fill everything out. And he handed me a sheet and was just like, best of luck. You know, and if I circled back and was like, hey, do you know about blah? And he's like, what does the sheet say? I'm like,
Oh, dude. Come on, man.
it says this, but I have a question, you know, and he's like, no, go to the sheet, figure it out, you know? And so if you don't want it bad enough, you're not going to do it.
Fair.
Because it's a lot of work.
Fair. Oh, yeah.
And I really appreciate that about him. Like, of course, would I have liked him to spoon feed me?
Yeah.
Of course I would. That would have been so much faster and easier.
We are in a time where we all want to be so efficient, and we all
Right.
just want the answer now. And
Right.
Yeah.
But I figured it out, and I started making the syrups and got all of my ducks in a row, and I was able to launch at the Homegrown Festival in Siloam.
Heck yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And I launched 3 flavors, apple spice,
Okay.
rich auntie, and not so vanilla.
We're going to talk about these here in the next segment, by the way. Absolutely, we are, especially the names. But yes, we'll get into that. So you're launched and you're going,
I'm launched and I'm
and
going.
you're picking up momentum. What was that like?
Exciting.
Yeah.
I
Pretty
felt-
exhilarating, right?
Yeah, I felt a really warm welcome from the Northwest Arkansas community.
Yeah.
And it's not that it was unexpected, but it was so appreciated and like almost overwhelming with how good it felt and how reassuring. It was like, oh, I really have something here.
Yeah.
And man, you know, I
Yeah.
think about it all the time and I'm like, that was so kind.
It's kind of goosebumpy, right?
Yeah. And right before Homegrown, I had agreed to do an event with the Rogers Historical Museum.
Okay.
And that was super exciting and very like confidence boosting. But I went and I gave a talk on some craft cocktails. So I see you have an RG Macon and Carson
Yes.
sticker
Yes.
on your laptop.
Absolutely.
But they were there doing samples of their
Kyle,
apple
right?
brandy.
Yeah.
And talking about the history of apple brandy in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And so I took his product and I put them into classic cocktails. And then I talked about the history behind the cocktails. And I got to sample out the cocktails to the crowd as well.
Awesome.
And it was so fun. And afterwards, people could come up and they could get a refill on their cocktail and talk to me. And everybody was like, where's the syrup? We want to buy it. And I was like, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's not here yet. It's
Right.
coming.
Right.
But that was super exciting.
Yeah.
You know, I think there was over 150 people in the room
Woof.
that night. And so to go from, you know, a little 6-person class teaching these cocktails
Yeah.
to a room full of people like that, being able to talk about something that I was so passionate about and having people really tuned in because they actually want to know.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
then being excited about the product
For sure.
that I was sharing. It was just a really good feeling. And then having Homegrown after that, I was on a high. I rode that high for as long as I could.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
pretty excited.
Well, not to bring down the high, but after a bit comes a little bit of a health disruption.
Yes.
I know. I'm so sorry.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's a really important thing to be open about. I feel like I stayed quiet about it while I was going through it, just because I was still trying to process it and I was trying to figure it out, and I didn't.
It's a very personal thing.
Yeah. But for those of you that don't know that are listening, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. I had a 2 by 3 centimeter tumor that had spread into 7 of my lymph nodes.
Ugh.
And I got the diagnosis from an amazing doctor, by the way, Dr. Tanshu in Northwest Arkansas. Not only is she gorgeous, but she is brilliant, and she's won awards for like robotic surgery and everything. She's amazing. But I had a really good team and I felt very confident, and there was just something in my gut that was like, this is not the end. You're not done. And not like I don't want to be done, but you're not done.
Yeah.
There's still more to do.
Yeah.
And so even though I knew it was going to be a very difficult journey ahead, I went into it like, no, we just have to do the things and then it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
We're going to go on to the next step. And I pretty much spent 11 months in and out of the hospital with all sorts of ick.
Yeah.
And the treatment was very, very rough.
Yeah.
I ended up finding out that I was allergic to the infusion for the chemo.
No.
Found that out because my airway closed up.
No.
Yeah. It was like the whole experience was wild.
Oh my gosh.
I had experienced things that I never even knew could happen during cancer treatment. And, you know, my heart really goes out to anybody that encounters a health problem while they're trying to also get a business up and running or just maintain a business that's already, you know, settled.
Sure.
And I keep looking back to my community, which includes, you know, my family, my partner, my sisters, my friends, and just people that have taken classes with me. They all showed up in such a beautiful way, and they were so supportive. And I've always been somebody that really preaches on the importance of community, but I feel like previous to this experience, I was one that was always pouring in.
Sure.
Right? Anything you need, I got you.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a cold or the flu. You need to run to the drugstore. You need me to make you some broth. I'll do a drop off at the door and ditch so that you don't transfer anything to me.
Sure.
But like, I'll make sure you're good.
You bet.
And I just think making yourself available, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You make yourself available.
Yep.
And it takes a village. And that's on all counts of life, not just with, you know, what they usually use that saying is for children. Like,
Sure.
It takes a village to raise a child.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a village to thrive.
Yeah.
And so I've, you know, fed into that theory of mine for so many years, but then to receive back without even asking just felt like such a blessing. And I don't know how else to like describe it or what other word to use.
Yeah.
But it just being covered in love and support, and it was ongoing.
Yeah.
I don't know how I could have done it without them.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm so thankful. And I came out the other side.
Knowing you a little bit, you would have, just because you knew. You'd have figured it out.
Right.
But gosh, when you've got backing and you've got
such a different experience,
heart and soul from so many people on your side, night and day.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And after 11 months, I went in thinking, okay, they told me the numbers, right? The numbers were that there was a 10% chance I would not have to have a life-altering surgery, like a quality of life-altering surgery.
Okay.
So I was at a 90% chance that I would have to have this surgery. And I was trying to become okay with it over all these months of treatment. And because I had such a difficult time with treatment, I felt like my chance of not having to have the surgery was just shrinking. Right? By the month. And we got up to it, and they did scans. They went in to get an eye on it with a camera. They could not find any sign of disease.
Hell yeah.
So tumor's gone, lymph nodes, everything looks fine. So now I'm on a maintenance program for the next 5 years. Okay. Got to stay in close contact with my doctor just so they can keep an eye on everything. But man, it was so wild. I remember sitting in the room with my sister when my doctor came in and told us, and we both just kind of like stared at her blankly for a couple of seconds. And then my sister was like, "I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time?"
Can you say that 3 more times?
Yeah. And we were both just like, okay. And my whole team, so I have my surgical oncologist who diagnosed me, I have my chemo oncologist, and I have my radiation oncologist. Yeah. I don't know about my surgical oncologist. Like I said, she's brilliant. But my chemo and my radiation oncologist, and this is not a diss to them, but I am like 99% sure that they're both autistic.
Okay.
Just the way that they relay information. Everything is very factual. There's no excitement. There's no change in tone. Yeah. And so when she told us, she was like, okay, we got the results back and there's no sign of disease. Jeez. And then we were like, wait, what? And so we were like, this is good, right? And she's like, we knew that this was something we could expect. Wait, that's all we got. We didn't get like, woo! There was no celebration or
did you start to slow
happy
clap?
there,
Or like,
right?
is this safe?
Just crickets. They were just like, we knew that this was a potential outcome. And my sister was like, but there was only a 10. She goes, it's very unlikely, but it has happened before. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take it. A win's a win at this point.
You think? Good God.
We got out. We were laughing so hard, but that was them.
Oh,
and
my
I'm
gosh.
so glad because they gave
Yeah.
it to me straight the whole time.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they weren't trying to sugarcoat things or make them seem what they weren't.
Yeah.
They didn't coddle me to the point of being unrealistic.
Sure.
And they're really good at their job.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that they're in that field, and I'm so glad that they're passionate about this type of medicine because it worked out well for me.
Heck yeah.
You know, so thank you.
Yeah.
But it was just funny, you know, the personality, and just, it was very flat. Like, it was like, no, the numbers show that this was possible. I mean, unlikely, yes, but not impossible.
I'm sorry, could you smile so I get a little reassured that I think you're talking about what you're talking about, maybe?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was funny. And then I just felt numb for a little while.
Yeah.
And, you know, now I'm back in it, and it's still tough, right? Like, once you're a cancer patient, you're always a cancer patient, unfortunately. Yeah. And, like, the bills don't stop coming in, and the new charges don't stop coming in, you know, all the things.
Right.
You don't stop chemo and radiation and then get your energy right back.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You still have other symptoms from treatment that will linger for a while. And so it's not like you get that clean bill of health and you're like, woo, and you can go out and,
Party,
you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Go out and party and be excited and then, you know, get back to life pre-cancer. So I'm still working through it and trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
We'll say I'm very strong advocate for mental health, and counseling has been a lifesaver.
Sure.
So, you know, I just say for people out there that are experiencing, you know, these really intense and unexpected health issues, you're not alone.
Yeah.
There are other people going out, you know, going through similar things, and you don't always know. When I was going through treatment, I continued running my business. The only thing I did was I stopped doing markets and festivals, and I didn't do like little pop-up meet and greets and stuff like that.
Sure.
And surprisingly, I told myself, if I could just maintain, if I can just maintain for a year while I go through treatment.
Yeah.
Like, I love this business.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I'm a year in as I get my diagnosis.
And you were growing.
And I was growing.
And growing.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And again, back to community.
And you don't, I was about to say, and you don't have your energy, and you
Right.
don't have everything to just kind of.
Right. And, you know, I think that, you know, I'm sure there are people out there that placed orders. I always write a handwritten note for my orders that go out. There were days that I was so sick and I had family or friends packing up orders for me.
Oh.
They didn't get a note. So it's like, things change, you know, and part of me is like, oh man. But, you know, I did what I could do. I had an amazing support group.
Yeah.
And I was amazed looking over the numbers.
Yeah.
I saw growth over the year.
That's crazy. Good for you.
And it was so exciting.
Yeah.
And it definitely like fueled me to keep going. So now I'm going into 2026. It's a new year.
Yeah.
And I'm just so excited to have my health back.
Yeah.
And start figuring things out again, and, you know, get my feet up underneath me. And even, you know, like an online community, I had a couple of women that found my product just, you know, surfing around and fell in love with it and let people know.
Oh, that's huge.
And I received so many sales, online orders, from just word of mouth, from them sharing a product that they really liked. So I made sure when I was done with everything, like I sent them a package with a letter explaining like, hey, I know you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah.
But you really helped me out.
That's great.
Here's some syrup.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how
Here's
else.
some rich honey.
Right. I don't know how else to convey how much I appreciate what you did for my business. But thank you.
Yeah.
And, you know,
that's great.
Let's go.
That's great. Speaking of which, you ready to talk syrup?
Yeah.
We're going to talk syrup. We got the Mike Engelman Home Pro Tip of the Week, and that's coming up next right here on the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas.
Let's go!
Connect with us at Flavors of Northwest Arkansas on Facebook and Instagram, or by email at flavorsofnwa@gmail.com.
Welcome back. It is now time for the Mike Engelman Home Pro Tip of the Week. For that, we go to Miss Angela. Ma'am?
Yes. So my tip when it comes to the syrups is when you're using them, think of them as a way to infuse flavor into anything you would normally put sugar, honey, or maple syrup into.
Okay.
So a yogurt topping. Like if you make yogurt in the morning, don't buy like a fruited yogurt. Just pour a little bit of syrup. I make it with organic sugars, right?
Okay.
Another way, like I do a baked oatmeal. I use the syrups in that. Like you're adding flavor in. Normally I would just use, maybe some honey or maple syrup when I do that recipe. Use these syrups, right? They're coming with a bunch of flavor. Allow them to impart that to your recipe. They make fantastic salad dressings. My two favorite are the cowboy candy, which is fresh jalapeno, and the apple spice. Both make fantastic vinaigrette dressings. All you need is a little bit of citrus or some vinegar, some acid, and maybe a little bit of fat in there. Takes you all the way. It's really good. My sister uses cowboy candy when she makes her ham glaze. She mixes it with like a peach preserve or whatever she's in the mood for. Just adds a little bit of spice, makes it really spreadable and easy to work with. There's just so many different uses. I think coffee and cocktails, mocktails are like the very obvious. But you can use it in so many other ways. I have a maple glazed carrot recipe. I have a Hasselback style butternut squash, roasted Brussels sprouts, like all these things, right? Very like savory meets sweet. But using it, when you choose between like a honey or a maple syrup, when you're trying to sweeten a recipe, when you choose one of those, it's because of the flavor that imparts. Okay, so now you're getting a syrup that has even more flavor in it. Right? It's already infused and it kind of does the work for you. So in the warmer months, salad dressing is my way to go. I also love to use it to elevate dessert. So I'll have friends over and just scoop up some high quality vanilla ice cream and then top it with a syrup. Amazing. Like it just takes it to a whole nother level. It's so simple.
I dig. By the way, those recipes are on your website, which is something we're going to bring up when we come back because it's not just a website. We'll talk about it next. If you're new to Northwest Arkansas or just want to love where you live a little more, you should know Maria from The Good Life NWA. She's a local realtor who specializes in helping people not just find a house, but the community where they truly thrive. You can also find her on Instagram at The Good Life NWA, where she shares daily tips on exploring the region, making new friends, and her popular Thursday weekend event picks for anyone looking for inspiration. It's Maria at The Good Life NWA.
Your story doesn't have to end. As an organ donor, the good in you can live on. In fact, you can save up to 8 lives through organ donation. Sign up to give the gift of life after you're gone. You'll be happy you did. Just maybe, someone else will too. Sign up online today as an organ, eye, and tissue donor at organdonor.gov. It saves lives.
Around 15 people die every day waiting for an organ transplant. They've been on the waiting list for who knows how long, and they don't necessarily make it. Around 8 people get added to that list every day. We're going the wrong way. There's over 107,000 people waiting right now, and 86% of them are waiting for a kidney. Go to organdonor.gov to get signed up. Super important. I talk about it every week. It takes about 5 minutes to get signed up through the Arkansas link, about 5 minutes to get signed up through the Texas link, and it's probably very similar for the other states as well. It's organdonor.gov. Of course, you can also, there's the health app on your iPhone. You can get signed up through there. And finally, of course, the old school way, just when you go get your driver's license updated at the DMV or the Department of Finance here, tell them you want to be an organ donor, and they'll stamp it on there, and you'll be good to go. Organdonor.gov is where to go. Thank you as always. And we're back. Angela Bolt, we're going to talk Siloam Syrups. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Well, before we do that, we got to get into the website because I was doing a little bit of research on you beforehand,
Okay.
trying to figure things out a little bit. And I got to the website and I thought, this is a cornucopia. Is that it's all encompassing. It's got all the things on it. Matter of fact, I'm going to switch to it now because the thing that really got me the most, I already told you about, but as I'm going through, it's like a list of playlists, which is unbelievable. And they're huge lists, huge. So there's obviously the shop link. There's recipes like you were talking about earlier, recipes for cocktails, mocktails, sides, salads, sweets, breakfast or breaking fast.
Yeah.
Snacks, coffee and tea. The About site tells you about everything as to why. But the first thing I saw was 1990 to 1994. And I went, click.
Yes.
Click. And I was writing on that. And then there's so many more playlists. There's got to be 15 or so.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. So, yeah, you really have put a lot into SiloamSyrups.com.
Yeah. I wanted it to be a vibe.
I mean, you're a marketer. Let's start with that. And so it is a vibe. Side note. It's such a vibe. I mean that in the absolute best way possible. It is a vibe for sure.
Thank you.
So that's where you go, by the way, SiloamSyrups.com. And so how do you, we talked about this very briefly before we hit record, but how do you know what to make next?
I think with my original 3, I was looking at what was most popular in my classes.
Sure.
The syrups that I went back to time and time again. Also, something that I didn't see being done yet.
Okay.
I wanted to do something different. We have another beautiful company out here, Pink House Alchemy.
Sure.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
They have an amazing product. It's good. But I think I do something different.
Yeah.
And I think just like with artists, right, my style is a little bit different. And so my initial goal with creating flavor profiles for Siloam Syrups was I wanted to be able to be side by side on a shelf with Pink House Alchemy and not have any overlap.
Interesting. Okay.
That was my main goal when I first started releasing flavors, because I do think that they have a good product, and I think that they do a lot in the community, and they're a great, healthy presence.
Oh, sure.
Especially in Fayetteville.
You bet.
But Northwest Arkansas as a whole. And although I knew people were going to compare us because we're similar.
It's natural.
Right. We're a similar business. I wanted to be something distinctly different. And so that was always on my mind as I was approaching the different flavors.
Sure.
And, making these syrups is my art. I'm putting my heart into it. And so the first 3 flavors, I started with apple spice. I am a whiskey girl.
There you go.
I love whiskey.
Yeah.
And apple spice pairs very well with whiskey. It
sounds very wintertime.
Yes, it did win a whiskey cocktail contest. I don't have all the details to it, but somebody shot me a note on social media and was like, "Hey, by the way,"
Like locally?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I wish I had more details. I should probably circle back and get that, but it pairs very well with whiskey.
Okay.
My favorite 2 ways to use it are when making an old fashioned, but also when making a whiskey sour.
Oh.
I've won over people say that they hate whiskey, they don't like the taste, they don't like brown liquor, like whatever their excuse is. Yeah. And then I serve them this whiskey sour made with the apple spice, and they're won over.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, it works every time. So that was my first flavor.
And then they say, "How do I take this back to the convent?"
It was something, the recipe, I approached it a little bit differently than a lot of other syrup recipes. A lot of other syrup recipes start with, a 2-to-1 ratio, your sugar to your water.
Sure.
And this recipe starts with pressed apples instead of water. So I'm not using a concentrate. I'm not using an extract. I'm not using any artificial flavors. Yeah. I'm getting that apple pie flavor from real apple juice.
Yeah, girl.
And then I just paired it with the traditional apple pie spices and a bunch of vanilla. Put a little bit of sea salt in there, and it just pulled it all together. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a recipe that had been requested a couple of times, so I knew that I wasn't the only one
Sure.
that was really going to like it.
You bet.
And so that was number one.
Okay.
And then following that was an idea that I had. I really wanted to do something for my two favorite aunties growing up.
Sure.
One of them I've talked about a little bit.
Yeah.
She had ties in the Monterey area to the jazz festival, and she liked to donate to the Audubon Society and the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and she was a nurse. She was just super fun, lovely, lovely woman. She made amazing pies. Her name was Rosemary.
Okay.
She has passed, but I have very fond memories of her.
Yeah.
And she just had this like bubbly personality with this like warm, buttery laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about her. She was one of a kind. I absolutely adored her. My other aunt was my mom's sister, my Aunt Connie, and she's also a scuba diver. She loves to travel. She's super funny, like really spunky. She has a lot of personality. Like when we get together, we just laugh and we tell
great.
stories, and she's amazing. But I spent a lot of time around both of these women during the holidays.
Sure.
And so a lot of my like scent and taste memories of them are very like holiday-esque. So vanilla, cinnamon,
Nice.
like maple, honey. And so I started kind of playing around with these flavors, and I was like, I want to make a syrup that is as rich as their lives are.
Wow.
Because these two women, in my mind, are rich in all the ways that matter.
Yeah.
And that's where the name came from, Rich Auntie.
Love it.
And the syrup is very rich. It's pretty decadent.
Okay.
It's grade A maple syrup,
Okay.
Arkansas wildflower honey,
Ooh.
organic cinnamon, vanilla bean extract, and sea salt.
Dang.
Yeah, it's good. It's also my bestseller.
Okay, so that's the one.
The second recipe I ever made is still standing as my bestseller.
I'm just imagining that on ice cream right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That's the first thing that hit my mind because I'm a little bit of a glutton when it comes to that. But please continue. It sounds amazing.
And then I really wanted to do a third flavor. And I went back and forth on doing something funky or doing something a little bit more mainstream. And I was like, I really want like my style and personality to shine through. And what better way to do that than to pick something that's very mainstream and give it a twist?
Okay. Interesting.
So I picked vanilla because who doesn't like vanilla?
Sure.
And I played around with, different things, different recipes, different ways I wanted to approach it. And what I settled on was using the sugars to impart a different type of flavor to the vanilla. So I was using more organic cane sugar, but then I also used organic palm sugar. And palm sugar has this like almost caramelly undertone to it. It's a really beautiful flavor. And so mixing the two and then putting as much vanilla in there as I possibly could, and then also adding sea salt gave it this beautiful like round buttery flavor. And I was like, I can't just call this vanilla because it doesn't fit.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. And not that I think people would be disappointed, but I think they would be caught off guard.
Right.
And so I was playing around with like what to call it. And then I was like, well, vanilla's boring. And this is not boring.
Vanilla is vanilla. Right.
And this is just not it.
No.
But it's vanilla. So it ended up getting the name Not So Vanilla. At the last minute, I was like, I'm just going to do it. It's quirky. Hopefully it sticks and people don't hate it. But those are my first three flavors.
Love it. Love it. And I love the fact that Rich Auntie is the one.
I know.
Yeah.
I think the name catches a lot of people.
Sure.
It's one of those things where the name catches them. They read the ingredients. They're really good ingredients. And they're like, I could do something with this.
Sure.
Right? Like it's very familiar, but like not something that they've had altogether before.
Sure.
And so they're willing to take a gamble on it because it's also my most expensive syrup.
Okay. Yeah.
I try to, be reasonable with my costs, but something that I do that is different than I think a lot of businesses do is I don't try to make flavors that fit into a price range.
Okay.
I make something that tastes good and then I price it whatever it has to be.
There's that.
To be able to stay open.
Right. Sure. Whatever works, right?
Because in my mind,
Yeah.
Anybody can go to the store and we'll just throw out a number there, a $10 bottle of syrup.
Okay.
What you're buying, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular, I'm talking about brands across the board. What you're buying is a bottle of a product that has been figured out to be made to cost them a certain amount of money to make it so that they know that they're making a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
I want to do something different. I'm like, I don't care if I have to charge you $30. It's going to have to be really good because I want it, I want it to make sense.
You bet.
But I would rather put my art into it without care.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just dive all in.
Just figure it out.
And then be like, that's it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Nail on the head.
How much?
That's the one.
It's got to be just trial and error for days.
So I have a little bit of a method
Okay.
that I've started using, and it works out pretty well for me. A lot of my flavors start up here.
She's pointing at her head for those that are just listening.
Start up here in the noggin.
Yeah.
And I dream it up, and if I can't forget about it, I know it's something that has got to be done.
Boy, when you get older, it's going to suck.
I don't know. Like I was telling you before we started recording, I am neurospicy. I have ADHD.
Sure.
And so sometimes I will like hyper focus on the business side, and I'll be like, okay, we're going to plan this out and it's going to make sense. And kind of how I did Not So Vanilla. I was like, I need to do this flavor because it makes sense for a trio that I'm putting out.
Yeah.
And then there are other times that I just cannot get an idea out of my head. A recent flavor release.
Right.
Actually, I just launched it last week.
Oh, okay.
It's called Cardamom.
Yeah.
And it's a green cardamom flavor. It's beautiful. I'll let you try it.
Okay.
But that flavor was nagging at me for over a year.
No way.
And I just couldn't let it go. And I was like, I know this is going to be good. I know it's going to be good. And so finally, I set aside some time in my kitchen and I will sit down and I'll write out 3 recipes.
Okay.
For what I kind of have in my mind. I go by weight. So I'm weighing everything out. And I'll run through those 3 recipes, and then I'll taste those 3 recipes. I pick my top 2, and I adjust them until I get it just right. And then I keep narrowing it down.
Okay.
So I'll go from 3 to 2 to 1, and then I will continue adjusting that one.
Whew. Patience, girl.
I know.
Wow.
It's worth it, though.
Sure, of course it is.
And like I said, this is my art.
Yeah.
So the whole time I'm in there, this is really important to me.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to release this flavor. Earlier we were talking about my cancer diagnosis.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I learned going through that process is that you can, and I did, lose a good portion of your sense of taste and smell.
Ugh.
Yeah. So I didn't make any new flavors. I was working on a flavor
Totally makes sense.
when I got diagnosed, and I had a week in between, first round and the appointment where they told me everything that was going on, and I was in the kitchen because I was like, I need to perfect this
Quickly
because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to feel.
You bet.
So the flavors kind of come to me in different ways, and sometimes they just nag and they stick around. And Cardamom did, so it got released.
That's great. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to pause here. For those that are listening and watching, you'll see us pop back up in probably 3 to 4 seconds, but we're going to set up to do a little taste test sort of thing here, and then we'll just pick it right back up. So stand by. Okay, we are back. It is time for taste test time. Off we go.
Okay, we are going to start with Not So Vanilla.
Okay.
Just gonna give you a little spoon.
Looky there. You've done this before.
A time or two.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, man. That's really good.
Right? Like it's vanilla, but it's not vanilla.
You're talking earlier about whiskey. That's not a bad one for that too. I can tell right now, right?
It's so good. And my favorite spirit to pair with not so vanilla is rum,
Oh, interesting.
especially like an aged rum.
I might drop a little bit in a Brandy Alexander.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, this is Rich Auntie.
Rich Auntie. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, I like. Let me turn around here and peek. Yeah. That's really good.
And I'm going to send you one with these bottles.
Oh, well, thank you. Those are
You can
awesome.
put them on some ice cream or
Okay.
in some whiskey.
You know I will.
Whatever. The next one is a floral, so I don't want
Okay.
to throw you off. But this is Sunny, and Sunny is orange blossom.
Okay.
And people who aren't familiar with an orange blossom flavor, the most common association is honeysuckle.
It really is. Really is. We had a honeysuckle bush, or my neighbors had it growing up on our fence. And boy, we buried that thing out.
I know.
It was so great.
I believe it. We did the same thing.
That's
It's
really-
delicious.
Oh,
But
it's so good.
really goes well with citrus.
Yeah.
My favorite way to use it outside of coffee, cocktails, mocktails,
Sure.
is putting it into whipped cream
Ooh.
and doing like a strawberry shortcake and putting that in the whipped cream. Like I'm saying, these flavors elevate.
Okay.
Okay.
I get it now.
See where I'm going?
I do.
Okay.
100%. Let me see this real quick. Yeah, man. That's very floral.
It's good.
Yeah.
The other thing that I really like about Sunny is that it's a floral,
Yeah.
and so it is perfumey, right? But if you are someone that doesn't like rose or lavender because it's soapy,
Interesting.
then Sunny might be something for you because, yes, it is perfumey, but it's not soapy.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No.
Lavender Grace is the next one.
Okay.
This is actually named after my baby sister.
Okay.
Her name is Emily Grace.
Okay.
And this one, as I was thinking up flavors, I was like, oh, that's Emily's. I got to name this one after Emily. Emily is one of the most like naturally calming and gentle souls you will ever meet. And so when I made Lavender Grace, it's, lavender flower. I'm infusing it like a tea. There's almond extract in it, and it gives it that creaminess.
Okay.
And then I use the Arkansas wildflower honey.
I'm glad you said that because right when you said almond, I'm like, what am I? There's something that's really familiar here, and that's exactly what it is. Nailed it.
Yes.
Completely nailed it. That's really good. They've all been really good, but yeah.
My newest flavor, cardamom.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is green cardamom. It does have rose in it. If you are not a fan of rose, what I would say is still try this because I feel like the rose is a supporting actor.
Okay.
Right? It's enhancing. It's not overpowering.
That's great.
And then there's vanilla bean extract in there, and that just kind of ties everything together.
Yummo.
My thought process on this is I want to do a spring-summer, which would be the cardamom, and then I want to do a fall-winter cardamom flavor.
Oh.
So kind of get a little bit of...
Okay. So how would that
Change.
How would that variate?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
thinking along the lines of like a cardamom bun flavor for the fall and winter, but I've not decided yet.
Wow.
So this one, I've not played around with it a lot with food yet. It goes really well in whipped butter and whipped cream.
Yeah.
Really nice on like if you were to do a brioche French toast with this.
Yeah.
You can serve it, just a drizzle of it on top, or you can put the whipped cream or the whipped butter with this in it on top, just for like a little something extra.
Yeah.
But it pairs very well with lime. So I used this and made a gimlet the other night with dinner. And like I said, you're not just adding sugar. Normally a gimlet, right, would be your vodka or your gin and then fresh lime juice and a sweetener.
Yeah.
But when you add this, you're getting those layers of flavor.
Boy, do you ever. Yeah.
And it doesn't take any effort. It's just one little bottle.
So you said rose is it's not the main player, obviously, but as an accompaniment. But it's really subtle and it's really I mean, it's really good, but it just fits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was, it was on my mind for so long. I was like, I know this is going to be good. I haven't even
Yeah.
tried it yet, but I know there's
Yeah.
something in me that says that this is going to
Yeah.
be good. So I was really excited how this came out.
Yeah, it's what you
Very
should
happy
be.
with this.
It just fits.
And I was playing around with names for the longest time. And I was
Yeah.
like looking into the history of the spice and, trying to wrap my brain around
You bet.
how do I best honor this flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was mixing it, I started thinking about the wonderful women in my life that are such good mothers.
Yeah.
Like really good moms,
Yeah.
including my partner.
Yeah.
I get to watch how much she loves our daughter
Yeah.
and how much she pours herself selflessly
Yeah.
into this life. And I was just in awe as I was, in the process of making it. And I was like, that's what I'm going to call it, Cardamommy.
Love it.
So this is a spring summer flavor.
Love it.
The not so vanilla, the rich auntie, the sunny, and the lavender are my 4 flavors that stick around all year.
Okay.
So Cardamommy is a spring summer. Now we have cowboy candy.
Okay.
This is the last one we'll do today.
Okay.
But this is fresh jalapeno.
All right. I'm going to do this real quick.
Yeah. And this makes a mean margarita.
Oh, I'm sure. Thank you.
But I also like to make like a limeade with it.
Ooh.
Makes a really good salad dressing. Like I said, my sister uses it in the glaze for her ham every year for Thanksgiving.
This is going to sound way out there, but a little drizzle on avocado toast.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So one of the ways that I've used this, we were talking about ice cream. With ice cream and then doing a citrusy, so pineapple or mango on top of the ice cream, like fresh pineapple, fresh mango, fresh kiwi.
Yeah.
And then doing a drizzle of the jalapeno.
Yeah.
On just some nice vanilla ice cream. It's really
Interesting.
good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for this.
Yeah, thank
This
you
is
for
really
trying
great.
them.
Oh, yeah. Really, really good. Enjoyed them all. SiloamSyrups.com.
Yes.
This is where people can go find excellent playlists along with being able to order these, recipes, all the things. It is a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. How else can folks find you?
They can find me on Instagram. I am also on Facebook, and I am dabbling in TikTok. We'll see how that goes.
Join me, would you?
If you are local or not local, as I gain new wholesale relationships,
Yeah.
because I don't have a storefront yet, it's eventually the goal, but not there yet.
Sure.
I do list everybody that retails syrups for me.
Absolutely.
It's on my website, on my shop page. Just scroll all the way down.
Yeah.
And you'll see a list there.
Yeah, even in Oklahoma.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Got
Good.
some Tulsa locations.
Yeah, got good lineup there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Flavors of Northwest Arkansas on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Thanks for joining us. Please tip your servers wherever you go. Please do so. They depend on you. I appreciate you joining us. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.